Hi everyone. Yeah, so just now you heard a very interesting talk from Sakina. Uh, like you must be thinking, go and search about Flutter. I will give you guys more headache. We have Kotlin. With Kotlin also you can do multi-platform, iOS, Android, web, server side. So let's talk about Kotlin today. Uh, yeah. So about myself, I work as tech lead in a Singapore-based startup. We make live streaming solutions, and we have offices in Vietnam and China. And I have been in Singapore for last 3 years. Before I used to stay in South Korea, and I have my own website where I post some stuff. So I didn't update this website. Maybe after this, I'll go and update about some online talks. Kotlin is not new. It's been 4 years that it is being used by like especially the Android community. And you can see like over the last 1 year, there have been 5.8 million people who have edited Kotlin code because Kotlin is open source. It's maintained and owned by JetBrains. So this shows the popularity of the language. So today, I'm just like, because of the time constraint, just going to give you overview of Kotlin 1.4, which is Kotlin's biggest update ever. So we'll talk about some language features, and there are some interesting things at the end. So please stay tuned. Also, for this whole event, right at the end, you might be able to get some virtual some gifts. So please stay tuned. Yeah. So for language, right, there are a couple of things I want to show you guys today. The main one is the SAM conversion. It's mostly about lambda conversion. Then we will talk about explicit API mode, some mixed name arguments, and there are a couple of others. So the first one is just to like let you know. So these all new features are actually available in Kotlin 1.4. You can download the new IntelliJ ID, or you can use Android Studio and update Kotlin plugin to 1.4. That's how you can use the new features. So, just like to explain what it is, I'll just deep dive into the demo to let you know what is this all about. So before Kotlin 1.4, right, when we write an interface, we usually, let's say this interface has only one abstract function. Then when we try to like use like this, make an object of this interface, we cannot avoid this function. So we have to have an anonymous class. So this was one problem when any like interface you're writing in Kotlin, you have to bear this kind of syntax. But for Java, right? So I have one interface in Java, but from Java to Kotlin, you can use lambda expression. So here it shows me a little bit. If I go here, right? So it will show me this kind of option, convert to lambda. So with one line, we can do something like this. But same kind of thing we can do with Kotlin. I will give you an example. So we have this function. So basically, we will just replace with Kotlin, and we are going to just remove this, make it simpler. Yeah, okay, so this one. Okay, and now if I see right, so I can basically use Kotlin to, I can remove this code for you guys. So basically, I just need to add this fun parameter here. Then this will be lambda expression in Kotlin. Then I can use something like this. So it's pretty neat. This was not available before. And if I try to run, right, so let me run this one and show you the results. Yeah. So meanwhile, this code is running. I can, yeah, okay. So you can see like, okay, this code is running. So this is a big advantage. I'll go back to my slides. So second language feature, uh, which is um, which is very nice, is explicit API mode. So basically, like before, like when you are creating some Kotlin API, you don't know which are public APIs, which are private APIs. So now you get this kind of warnings, and over there, actually, you can add those. So this is also a nice feature. Yeah. So I think you have to add this kind of explicit API kind of in the Gradle file, and then you can get like those warnings. So there's another problem we used to have before. So there's for example, hello world function, and then you have these named parameters, right? So once like you start using the name arguments like y equal to false, so after that, any subsequent argument you have to name also. But in Kotlin 1.4, actually, we are able to solve this. You can see this example. So we have hello world here. And then once you have y equal to true, after that, you can go back to normal one. We don't need to name it anymore. So this was like some feedback from many developers. Kotlin at JetBrains, like they decided to make this feature available in 1.4. And for this, I can also like show you how it works. So I have, for example, this kind of function, right? Yeah, yeah, I have this kind of function. And then if I try to use this function here, hello world here, then I can write one y equal to false. Then I can just write something. Yeah, so this is how it works. So it's pretty cool and very helpful for especially Android developers or anyone who is writing code in Kotlin. So let's go back to my slides. So next feature, which is very interesting, is actually a break and continue. I think many of you know this. Every time we have to finish a loop in event statement, we have to use this at the rate of loop, at the rate of loop. But with 1.4, actually, you don't need to add this. So you just write continue or break. So this is also a new addition in 1.4. Okay, so these were some of the like Kotlin language features. There are some others also you can check on the website. I will share at the end. But let's talk about some other exciting stuff with Kotlin, because all of you know that Kotlin is not only used for like Android development, it's also being used for making iOS apps. At the same time, it's being used for making JavaScript and some server-side code. And most recently, the Kotlin multi-platform is very popular, where actually you have one project you can target for Android and iOS together. So earlier, you guys hear this presentation about Flutter. Flutter can also allow you to make iOS and Android applications using same code base, right? So Kotlin can provide you similar features. Previously, actually, like many developers had issue because you had to manually configure your project and everything. So today I will show you like how you can use the Kotlin IntelliJ IDE to basically create a new multi-platform project and start writing code immediately. So for Kotlin more native, right? So Kotlin native is basically used for making iOS apps. And the new feature support for Kotlin native suspending functions. Those are coming from coroutines. Now you can use them in Swift. At the same time, you can use these debug symbols when you create iOS targets. So these are useful for checking crashletics, like crashes, once you publish your app. And the last thing is actually Cocos pods, because usually when we like create projects, iOS projects nowadays using Xcode, we use pods. But here, actually, what we can do is like we can use IntelliJ IDE to manage our pods. We don't need to migrate to Xcode. So this is very interesting. And so this is one example of suspend functions. In Kotlin 1.4, you can write suspend function like query data, and then you can use the same in Swift as more like a lambda function, yeah, a callback function. Okay, let's talk about Kotlin multi-platform. I will show you some demo for this also. So this is a new project wizard in IntelliJ latest version. You can download from JetBrains site. So when you click on project new, you can see this kind of like project wizard where you can choose like different projects. So I can show you live here. Okay, so I go to project, and yeah, so you can see like I can choose JVM application, which is mostly like the server side application. Then I have the multi-platform. So I have mobile application, mobile library, then just an application. It's just like Kotlin application. Then I have library, just library. And you see the targets are on the right side. You can configure those targets. And I have native application. So native application is just used for making iOS app. And then you also have full stack web development. So this kind of like creating new project made it very easy. So it will set up everything for you. Previously, many developers had pain when they had to make a multi-platform project. They had to manually configure everything. So I have created a project for you guys already. Let me just share with you. So this is a Kotlin multi-platform project. You can see I have my Android app, I have my iOS app code, then I have the shared code. So this is all the shared code between two platforms. So Android app code will be all written in like Kotlin, and you can use all the the Android libraries here. So you can see all these activity and all the familiar stuff here. And similarly for iOS, one interesting thing is that this app will use Swift UI, which is more like Jetpack Compose. So I can show you here. So they make this kind of view using Swift UI, which is I think which is like very surprising for me. And then we have some shared code here. So quickly, I think my browser somehow started to load. Okay, so I have shared, then I have common main, then I have iOS main. So I just show you guys a quick sample here. Let's say like I have this greeting function. So this greeting function, I want to show platform version in reversed order on both Android and iOS. So I make this class here, and this platform is actually you can say for iOS it will have different implementation. For Android it will have different implementation. So that's why we use this keyword called expect. So it's expecting implementation in iOS and Android. Then I will show you like how is it implemented in iOS. In iOS, it's basically using the UI device, current device system name and system version. On Android, actually, it's using something like this kind of version of SDK. And I can run my Android directly from here. So when I run, like, I will show you how it looks like on the device. So you guys can see, so you guys can guess what is this Android version. Please write in comments on Facebook or YouTube. Okay. So then I will show you Xcode, right? So at the same time, it actually generates Xcode project for you, which you can open in Xcode. And here, the interesting thing is like it basically shows you kind of like simulator target or the device target. So I'll just run this on simulator. There are no issues or something. And then you can see like, okay, so it is iOS, whatever version you can write in YouTube for this. Okay, so yeah. So I think this actually kind of conclude my talks, because I would like to like get more questions from you guys. And if you have like any questions, please feel free to ask in YouTube. I will drop by later to answer. And some of the resources here are I have mentioned here. You guys can take a look at them later. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
This is July Quilloa. I think she also did mention that she was your biggest fan, or he or she. So for the named arguments, how does it map to the variable? Is it based on the order of the parameters that you didn't specify? And yeah, asking for a friend.
Okay. So basically, it's independent of position now. So once previously, what you had to do is like, if you want to like just use the named arguments, then position doesn't matter. So let's say I have my argument, let's say at the end, then you can just write that argument at the beginning. If you have the named argument, like let's say my argument is age integer, I declare as an integer, but actually I can have also a default value. But usually, like when we write functions, we usually have those default values. So yeah, so these are, and both positional or it can be irrespective of the position if you name them. But previously, the problem is like once you start naming them, then you have to name all of them followed by it. But now with new Kotlin, actually you don't need to do it. Even you can leave them out if you have a default value.
Can we develop iOS application using Kotlin?
100% you can. There are some apps in App Store actually purely written in Kotlin.
Yeah.
But obviously, what you can do is like you can use the Kotlin features. Let's say you cannot hire a person who is very good with Swift or Xcode, right? You can write all that logic in Kotlin, use the Kotlin native platform. But obviously, like you will get, like you might have to run this project on Xcode also. So I'm not sure like what kind of features you are using, what kind of libraries you are using. If you are using all the native things, not many third-party libraries, then it might be okay. There are many apps out there in App Store which are written purely in Kotlin.
So, okay, in the earlier stages, adopters mentioned that there were some compiling issues for iOS part. How is it different now?
So I just showed like with this update of Kotlin 1.4, I haven't written any app in Kotlin for iOS by myself. But I think anyone asking question can go and check Kotlin 1.4, what's new with Kotlin native, especially for iOS. There are still some limitations you have, but actually Kotlin team and JetBrains is working very hard to resolve it. But there are many new updates in 1.4. They can go and check out on their blog and try them out, because it's been released, I think, less than 1 month. And I forgot to mention, there will be Kotlin 1.4 event that's coming up in October 12 to 16. So I highly recommend everyone to go check out. And there are some sessions for Kotlin native, especially for iOS developers if they are interested to use Kotlin.